July 29th, 2022, the day that is forever ingrained in my memory. The day that I have nightmares about. One that seemed too bizarre to have been real. The day that I doubtfully had to come to terms with my biggest nightmare becoming my new reality. But let's back up. I was always a worrier. I worried about anything and everything. Still to this day, except tenfold. Kari, my mom, who was a nurse, always knew that about me, of course. When I have a hypochondriac as a daughter, thinking she was dying of throat cancer because her lymph nodes were swollen, or stomach cancer when her stomach hurt, I seriously don't know how she didn't end up strangling me. But as much as I stressed her out with all of my outlandish diagnoses, she was always the first to help me, even when all of the signs pointed to me just being dramatic. I remember a time when I was in middle school. I was absolutely convinced I had fleas. Crazy, right? Nope, not for me. No one was telling me otherwise. I knew I had fleas. You can imagine how that went over when I had two siblings at home who loved to harass me over absolutely anything. No, Mom, she'd make fun of me, of course, because in that situation who wouldn't? But because she knew I was terrified of these fleas eating me, what did she do? She went to the hospital her next shift and asked a doctor she worked with to print off a fake label, saying this is a cure for fleas, and all I had to do was rub it on the infected areas and voila. Turns out, she gave me aloe vera in an orange medicine bottle with the fake label. And you know what? It was magical. It cured me and I was flealess. See, a mother will do whatever humanly possible she can to make sure her kids are safe and taken care of, whether they're crazy dramatic or not. She would go to the ends of the earth for us. When I think of my mom, I think of a warrior, a lioness, a mama bear. Fierce love when it comes to her cubs. No one could hurt us. No one could hurt us, and if they tried, they'd have to go through her first. And if you knew my mom, you weren't getting past her. She truly was heaven sent. So much so, she was sent back. On the morning of July 29th, 2022, a Friday, I had a morning shift at Dutch Bros. It was a normal, beautiful day here in Pendleton. Mom came through the line before her shift in Hermiston at Good Shepherd Hospital and ordered her typical blended caramelizer with extra whipped cream. She'd always be sure to tell me not to forget the whip because she needed the double dose of sugar that day, of course. We chatted a bit. I showed her my 3 new tattoos I got in California, which she oohed and awed at. And finally I told her I loved her and to have a good shift. As she drove away with her whipped up caramelizer in hand, she said, "I love you too, J. Dawn." And to this day, I'm forever grateful she decided to stop that morning, because that's the last time I ever got to talk to her, and the last time I saw her alive. I remember being so excited for that night, because 2 of my friends were throwing a party at the Electric Sundown. Not only that, but my family was coming to town that evening for game night and a family-filled weekend. My mom lived in LeGrand and was commuting every day to either Good Shepherd in Hermiston or the hospital in Boise. 3 on in Hermiston and 3 on in Boise. There was still COVID going on, and hospitals needed all hands on deck whenever possible. My mom was one of the few that genuinely cared about the well-being and health of her patients. They always came first, never money, even in this day and age when money makes the world go round. It was never about that for her. She wanted to make sure everyone was okay. She would hold people's phones up on FaceTime with their family while they were on their deathbed because they were too weak to hold their phones themselves. Tears in my mom's eyes, and she never stopped. She didn't have breaks. She knew she needed to be these people's safe space and sub and family. Their families couldn't visit. They were all alone while they were dying because of the COVID restrictions. She was a lot of people's light at the end of their road, and not because she had to be, but because she wanted to be. So after her normal 12-hour shift, she was finally on her way back home from Hermiston. She gave my Uncle Dad a call and said she might go home to LeGrand first so she could get a change of clothes and what she needed for the night. My uncle tried telling her, you know, it's just family, you don't need to go home and change your clothes, who cares, just come here. But Mom was adamant. She was going to LeGrand first, and ultimately, not taking the Pendleton exit was the last decision she'd ever make, and the one that changed all of our lives for the worst. Around 8:30 that night, I'm with my friends at the Old Elks Lodge enjoying my time. I get a text from my sister that says, "Answer your phone." I reply instantly and say, "Is Grandma and Grandpa okay?" She said, "It's Mom." Then I noticed a string of missed calls from my aunt. I called her, and she already sounded like she may be trying to hide her hysterics. And I just kept saying, what's going on? What is going on? Is Mom okay? Where's Mom? Finally she said, Jaden, your mom passed away. And in an instant so fast I couldn't even blink. I lost everything. My support, my best friend, my reason for living. In the middle of the street, I fell to the concrete in denial about what my aunt just told me. This can't be true. My mom can't just die. That doesn't make any sense. She was perfectly fine this morning. I was screaming at the top of my lungs, no, 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 this isn't true. I remember someone literally walking over top of me thinking I was crazy. Probably thinking I was crazy, but at that moment, I didn't care about anything other than just trying to comprehend what was told to me about someone I thought could never die. Who thinks their mom is just gonna die like that? This just happens on TV, not to me. Well, I wish it were true, but the fact of the matter is this can't happen to you, because it did to me. And with how the justice system deals with DUIs, it will keep happening. Be sure to kiss your loved ones. Tell them you love them every time you can. 3.5 years since my mom's death, and her killer was behind bars for maybe a week. The first hearing, he had the nerve to say his ankle hurt. And after that, I couldn't bring myself to continue going. Before killing my mom, he had 5 prior DUIs. Killing my mother was his 6th. He became a U.S. citizen already having 2 under his belt. These past 3 years, Gabriel Madrid Velasquez, my mom's killer, was able to drive the whole time. 6 DUIs and killing a woman doesn't mean anything. It must not to the courts. I bet you'll never guess what happened next. Or maybe you will, like my family did from the second it happened. He settled for 10 years, which ended up meaning absolutely nothing because he fled. He ran from accountability because he is a coward. He had no restrictions holding him here, so why wouldn't he? Now the case isn't and can't be completed. It prohibits my family from doing a lot of things we had planned for my mom's memory because we weren't able to until the case was closed. So really the only person that came out of this scotch-free, my mom's murderer. The person who deserves the most justice can't get it. Not even the poor excuse of 10 years. What can a 26-year-old girl do to help her mom get the absolute bare minimum of what she deserves? The honest answer, I don't feel like I can do anything. I feel helpless. My mom deserved the whole entire world. She had her faults, as we all do, but she was always striving to be a better woman, wife, aunt, sister, daughter, mother, and to me, she succeeded. When I think of someone I want to be like, it's her. Passionate, driven, beautiful, hilarious, supportive, badass, caring, generous, and takes nothing from no one. Luckily, my sister inherited the same characteristics, so I'm incredibly lucky to be able to see my mom in her and admire that. I have 3 siblings who have struggled these past 3 years. That night, my older brother Jake had picked me up immediately from the party, and neither of us wanted to go home to face reality, so we drove. My little brother Brogan, he was just starting his journey as a Marine at Camp Pendleton when he heard the news. He didn't believe it. He was in such denial, just like I was. He called me hysterically crying, apologizing to me as if it were his fault. Before the chaos started, my family was at home, and 3 of them had gotten a notification sent from my mom's Apple Watch saying, SOS, Kari Lindeman, Ard Fall. Everyone was calling her, and to no avail. She wasn't answering. Frantic, my family was following my mom's location, and my grandparents and Uncle Dad got there first, even before the police. EMTs had gotten there a bit before, but knew there was nothing they could do for Mom, so they had to move on to help the man who killed her. He was coherent enough to go up Cabbage the right way, and then decided to exit and re-enter at Poverty Flats, deliberately trying to hit everyone along the way. Down. Around 12 911 calls were placed from the time he started driving the wrong way to the time my mom was hit. Going the wrong way on a freeway, and somehow he still managed to make it all the way down the notorious curvy Cabbage Hill to the Wild Horse exit. Not to mention he was in a Dodge 3500 and my mom was in a tiny hatchback Ford Fiesta. Even off the clock, my mom managed to save a family that was traveling directly behind her. She was always saving people, even in her last breath of life. My Uncle Dad sat with her still mangled in the car, holding her hand for the next 4 hours, calling her beautiful over and over again. My Aunt Tara, along with my sister Cassidy and her daughter, were stuck in traffic trying to get to the scene, and my niece was crying the whole way, as if she knew something wasn't right. My sister has 2 daughters now, but when Mom died, she had one 8-week-old, and my mom got to be Grandma Kiki for 8 weeks. The question is, how do you live without your mom? You don't think about having to live without her because it's too incomprehensible, too unbearable. Your mom is supposed to watch you grow, watch you find love and get married, and even give her 2 cents about it even though you didn't ask for it. She should be the first to meet your kids, and buy them the cutest clothes they can only fit in for a week. Help you figure out how to do your taxes or your homework you want to give up on because you just can't figure it out. Decorating your first house, or just answering stupid questions about life that she had already experienced. She should be here to be the first person to call you beautiful when you don't agree. From anything and everything in between, she's supposed to be here, but mine can't. That opportunity was stolen from her. Mine can't watch me get married. She won't meet my kids, and my kids won't meet Grandma Kiki. They'll never be able to know how beautiful and kind-hearted she was, how much she cared about people, especially the ones she loved. She loved fiercely and never backed down from a fight when it came to being Mama Bear. She won't be able to answer my dumb questions about life or call me my sweet Jaden again. I'll never see my beautiful mother with a heart pop up on my phone. She won't ask me to do her dreads again or tell me she has a surprise for Lucy. And I can't call her when I'm having a bad day, and I can't call her when I'm having a great day. I won't be able to hear her laugh in real time or see her beautiful smile that she gave to me, along with her beauty she gave to all of us. Because of one boy disguised as a man and his careless and reckless actions, I will never see my mom again. I will never get to tell her I love her again to her beautiful face. My hope for justice remains, but my belief in karma will persevere. Like the phoenix rising from the ashes, one foot in front of the other. I walk this path every day, not just for me, but for my mom. I love you, Mama. Thank you.